Welcome to this episode of A Bit of Poetry with Dr. O. As you will know if you watched the first episode, I'm not really from England, but I just thought it sounded so classy to call this A Bit of Poetry with Dr. O. So if you think it's silly, then just bear with me on that. One of the misconceptions about poetry is that it is all difficult and hard to understand. And while that's true of much poetry, that's not true of all good poetry. As I began compiling a list in my mind of poems that I really like about autumn, one of my favorites is probably classified as a children's poem. It's by George Cooper, and the first line is "Come Little Leaves." If you have not done so already, then I urge you to click the link so that you can follow along. Now, I don't have a copy of this poem in front of me. I memorized it years ago, and I'm not sure if I've got it exactly right. And so you can follow along and find where I don't have it exactly right. Although I had someone recently read a version to me, and I thought that maybe the person who had copied down Cooper's poem had a line or two wrong. But anyway, I'll explain it a bit, although it won't take all that much more explanation, and the meaning is fairly obvious. "Come, little leaves," said the wind one day, "come o'er the meadow with me and play. Put on your dresses of red and gold, for summer is over and the nights grow cold." Now, one of the things that happens with me and poetry is that I often remember the first time that I ever saw this poem. Or a particular poem. And so the poem has meaning not only for what it says, but the poem also has meaning because of the associations that I have with it. And so I was going to pick up a couple of my daughters at a little cottage school where they were attending. And while I was waiting, I saw a handout that one of the teachers had used that day. And it had the first two stanzas of this poem on it. "Come little leaves," said the wind one day. And I read that and I thought, oh, that's very fine poetry. It's very nice. I like it because we have a personification of the wind. He's speaking to the leaves. And as you will see, the leaves respond. So first of all, the wind just says, come and play with me. And so the leaves, as soon as the leaves, next stanza says, as soon as the leaves heard the wind's loud call, down they came tumbling one and all. Over the brown fields they danced and flew, singing the glad little songs they knew. I'm not sure if the word is glad or soft. I like either word, but it gives the idea that this is not a sad day for the leaves. They have served their purpose on the trees. They have enjoyed a good summer of it, and now the winter has come and it's time to move on to something else. So often when I think of autumn, I have feelings of wistfulness. One of the poems that I will share in a future episode will bring that out. But this is a poem that says, look, we've had a great summer. Let's go on and enjoy what's coming next. And that's a great attitude, and that's the attitude that the leaves communicate in this personification of what the leaves are thinking. So now, as the leaves are dropping off the trees, they address some of the things that they have seen. So they first of all address cricket. "Cricket, goodbye," they say. "Cricket, goodbye. We've been friends so long." Years ago, I was teaching one of my daughters this poem, and she and I have a very good relationship, and I told her, I think that's what I'm going to say to you when I'm on my deathbed. I'll say, "Cricket, goodbye." And of course she responded with appropriate grief. "Oh, Dad, don't even talk about that." But the time will come. And so I hope that in that day we'll be as glad to go on to the next life as the leaves were to go on to the winter time. So the leaves say, "Cricket, goodbye. We've been friends so long." And then the leaves address the little brook. "Little brook, sing us your farewell song. Say, will you miss us when we go? Ah, you will miss us, right well we know. And then the leaves address a little lamb. Dear little lamb, in thy fleecy fold, mother will keep thee from harm and cold. So he says, you need not worry. We have provided you with some shelter during the summer, but your mother is going to take care of you. And what the shelter that they had provided, of course, was the shade. And so he asks in the next line, gladly, or he says, gladly we've watched you in vale and glade. Say, will you dream of our loving shade? So he asks them, will you think of us when we're gone? and then in the final stanza, whirling and dancing the little leaves went. Winter had called them, and they were content. Soon fast asleep in their earthy beds, snow laid a soft coverlet or mantle over their heads. I can't remember which word it is, but anyway, the snow is personified, or the snow is described as something like a blanket that is going to be kept over you to keep you warm. And so, without comment and interruption, here is Come Little Leaves by George Cooper. Come little leaves, said the wind one day, come o'er the meadows with me and play. Put on your dresses of red and gold, for summer is over and the nights grow cold. Soon as the leaves heard the wind's loud call, down they came fluttering one and all. Over the brown fields they danced and flew, singing the glad little songs they knew. Cricket, goodbye, we've been friends so long. Little brook, sing us your farewell song. Say, will you miss us when we go? Ah, you will miss us, right well we know. Dear little lamb in your fleecy fold, mother will keep you from harm and cold. Fondly we've watched you in vale and glade. Say, will you miss our loving shade? Fluttering and dancing the little leaves went. Winter had called them, and they were content. Soon fast asleep in their earthy beds, snow laid a soft mantle over their heads.